Well, let's spend about 10 minutes with Nicole Parker. She's got a big TV hit coming up, but she's kind enough to join me this morning. Former FBI down in Miami for many, many years, almost 2 decades now, a superstar, rock star on Fox News. Nicole, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
Not as good as you. You're on fire. You got a book that's doing great. You're on TV every 15 minutes. You're doing great. I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. But before I get to the Saturday night action, if you will, I want to ask you about redistricting in your state. Ron DeSantis has made a big deal about this. You know, Texas going in the right direction, Virginia going the other way. How big of a story is that back home in Miami?
It's a big story. Look, things need to be fair, and what Virginia did was certainly not fair. And
Right.
Ron DeSantis is one thing about him being our governor. I'm sad for him to go. I really am. He doesn't mess around. So let's see what happens here. When you asked about my home state, I was a little confused because I actually am from Texas originally. Once a Texan, always a Texan. Don't mess with Texas.
Oh, wow.
But yes, you're right. I've lived in Florida for, the entire time I was in the FBI. So I've been here for 16 years. And I consider both home. But yes, both states. Don't mess with Florida either.
No, they're both, listen, they're two of my favorite states, and both have incredible governors. Abbott down in Texas,
Yes.
What a great guy, and DeSantis in Florida. But like you said, you spent most of your time with the FBI, all your time with the FBI down in Miami. Yeah, so let's get to what we saw on Saturday night. 9,000 people on this show, as you could imagine. I did get a text from President Trump Sunday morning, and he said, "Thanks for checking in, Sid." And the first thing he said to me was, "Thank God for the Secret Service. What a great job they did." And yet, almost every guest that comes on this show the last 2 days, they say, "Well, I don't know about that. I know Trump likes to thank his people and his cops, but they saw more errors than they did success." Let's start with that. Overall, how did you think the Secret Service did?
All right. So first of all, I saw the post that you posted, and that's President Trump. He's extremely gracious to law enforcement. When he should be, because I'll tell you, when the FBI was completely politically weaponized and going after him, he let them have it, as he should, which is very clearly noted in my book. The FBI was politically weaponized, went off the rails. But going back to the Secret Service, look, I worked with the Secret Service when I was an FBI agent. I worked events with President Trump when I was an FBI agent. I understand the high pressure, the high stress. These agents are being spread thin. They are overworked. The amount of travel these Secret Service agents are doing. I mean, so they're never home. They're standing posts for 12 hours at a time. They can't take their eye off of anything. It's a zero-fail mission. And so, again, I always defend law enforcement, and I try to be fair.
And by the way, they're also not getting paid.
Correct. But I agree that you can believe two things. You can believe that they're doing the best that they can with the resources that they've been given. But I also believe that the protective model for the Secret Service is completely antiquated, old school, does not keep up with the modern day threats. They are not up with the 3D weapon machines that are out there, the AI. They are not. The model for protection is about 50 years behind, in my opinion. Okay. They need to move it up. They need to get with the program across all of law enforcement, not just the Secret Service, the FBI, local law enforcement. That's just something that I believe across the board. The other problem that I have, not just again with the Secret Service, but I saw it at the FBI, starting with the Obama administration, they started hiring people for DEI purposes that were not necessarily qualified. That cannot happen. And imagine if you hire all of these people that are not qualified and they go 20 years to get their pension, they're going to be with the bureaus and the agencies for a lot of years. And so I think it's a multi-pronged thing. Yes, I am always going to back the blue, back up our law enforcement. Yes, no one was hurt that night, but someone could have been hurt. That Secret Service agent was almost taken out. And again, they're going to look at the ballistics to see who actually fired that round that hit the vest. But thankfully, President Trump was not hurt. But that is not the bar and standard that they should be operating at. No one should even be close to or in the near vicinity with a gun of anywhere where President Trump may be, especially in a facility such as a hotel. Again, I think it adds to what everyone else is saying. The ballroom is would be a very secure area. And I think that this is a very good argument for let's get that thing going.
Yeah, that's the point.
Going back to law enforcement, I back up our law enforcement that this cannot continue to happen. They've got to make some major changes, and let's just get to the bottom of it across all law enforcement agencies to include the FBI.
No, you're right, and they made some mistakes. The fact that he got past the first line of folks and he can run past the next line somehow or another. These are the best trained people we've got, and nobody shoots him. Nobody's able to shoot this guy. He shoots one cop, but nobody shoots him.
No one shot him, and also there were no IDs checked. I mean, we're talking about this is common sense stuff. They didn't even check IDs. You could have been on the top 10 most wanted list with a ticket that you got from someone, and you get in, and you just never know. So you've got to. I think they'll definitely. There's one thing about this administration: they are very transparent, and they are about improving things, and that's what I love about everyone involved here. And I have no doubt that the Secret Service will do the same. Unlike the woman who was the director before and dug in her heels and doubled down after Butler. I don't know if you remember that, but I certainly do.
Yep.
And she was a mess. Yep. And thank goodness we don't have that anymore. We've got people that are doing the right thing for the right reasons, real leaders. And I think that, thankfully no one was hurt or injured to a great extent, with the exception, obviously, of the agent who took the round of the vest. But President Trump is facing more threats than anyone. He is the most powerful man in the world, and he's doing things that actually matter right now. And that is why he is being attacked. And I loved his press conference where he said, look, when you're an effective individual and impactful, they come after you. They don't go after people that aren't impactful.
That's true. And the other issue besides the venue and the fact that the Secret Service wasn't perfect was that they were all there on Saturday night, Nicole. I mean, you would have been down to Chuck Grassley, basically. You could have killed everybody, every major member of Trump's administration in one ballroom at one time. That could have been a disaster. Yet, you tell me this. You spend your career at the FBI. In the manifesto, for some reason, this psycho, Cole Allen, said the life he wanted to spare was FBI Director Kash Patel. Why was that the case?
Wow. I have the criminal complaint right in front of me at 7 pages. I read the whole thing, and I'll just be blunt. That line struck out at me the most. It says administration officials, not including Mr. Patel.
Right.
They are targets, prioritized from the highest ranking to the lowest. So obviously highest ranking is President Trump down to the lowest. Why he excluded Mr. Patel, the FBI director, I don't know. But I certainly think that deserves an answer. Will we ever get it? Obviously, the defendant is not speaking. Let's see what the behavioral analysis unit and profilers come up with and what his patterns of communications were. Was there anything specifically that was mentioned in any communications about the FBI director? But I think that's interesting. I have no explanation for it at this point. But, like President Trump said, they go after those that are impactful. I don't know what to think. I'm not really sure. It's very interesting.
It was weird. Yeah, it was weird for me, too.
I don't know. What do you think of it?
I thought it was weird. But final, and I don't have any answer for you. Final 60 seconds, Nicole. I asked this of Jim Jordan about an hour ago. I said, are you worried? Are you worried they're going to keep trying, and maybe one day they walk in, there's 12 guys instead of one in 3 different rooms, or they got bombs, or
right.
There were ways to kill the president on Saturday that this guy was an idiot. Let's be honest. He's going to run past every Secret Service guy, 20 of them with his gun. I mean, his plan was really pathetic. He got further than he should have,
right.
But his plan was really idiotic. But there may be a better plan next time. Are you worried, like really worried about the president's life?
I've been worried about the president's life for a long time, because having worked violent crime in the FBI and seeing what people are capable of doing, they have no conscience, and how the rhetoric is going up. And again, this guy, let's make it clear, book smart, this guy was a genius. Okay. He got into Caltech. It's like the number 1 or number 2 engineering school in the country. He had a degree in mechanical engineering with a master's in computer science. On paper, this guy was very, very bright, but obviously he's not bright to think that he's going to rush the Secret Service. But what's sad is he almost did in certain ways. I mean, I heard that he tripped, and again, that's not in the complaint, so I don't want to say that. But I was on Fox this morning talking about it. This can't happen again, and that's what I want to say. This will not happen again. But then I had to stop myself and think, This may happen again because people are evil, and they believe that violence is the means and ways to solve their personal grievances. And someone can have such disdain for President Trump. That's your right. But the moment that you're starting to act out in violence, that is sick, it is wrong, it is evil, and you will face the full prosecution of the law. And that's what's happening. I mean, we're seeing this over and over and over. And our country, it's just not headed in the right direction when we're seeing things like this happening. But I think we need to start with some of our congressional leaders, shall I say. I wouldn't really call them leaders, but people that are saying these fiery comments.
Yeah.
Do you think that people live in a vacuum? These echo chambers that these people are looking at on their social media and the algorithms that they're seeing, this person was definitely influenced by that. And I can tell you that every action begins with a thought. And they're absorbing all of this, and they're riling people up, and then they're acting out on it. I think one final note I'll make that I think is unique and interesting about this person, again, going back to how smart he was intellectually, he was a video game guy. He invented video games.
Wow.
On Steam. Okay, this guy, a lot of the video games involved shooters.
Yes.
And this is something that we see commonly. And when the BAU profilers look at it, there's no exact study that says this, but having worked with profilers at the FBI, a lot of these individuals that are acting out on video games, go back and look at the video games that he was acting out, where they're snipers, where they're shooters. It's almost like they have this electronic world, and then it turns into a kinetic action where they actually are living out the shooting. And so they will be looking very closely at that as well. The video games that he personally was designing and inventing, and then he actually becomes a shooter himself. I guarantee you that the profilers are going to be looking at that very closely.
I think Tyler Robinson played video games too, the guy that killed Charlie Kirk. And the other problem on the way out is when people do stuff like this, whether it's Cole Allen, whether it's Tyler Robinson, whether it's Luigi Mangione, they don't go away as criminals and embarrassed. To a certain extent, for about half this country, they become heroes. That's when you know
Heroes.
Our country is sick. This guy, Cole Allen, is a hero today to about half of America.
Correct. And that's a moral deterioration that we have in our country, that evil is now good.
Yep.
And good is evil. It's like everything is flipped upside down. But yes, and I guarantee you that's what he wanted. He wanted to be the hero. He felt that there was a moral justification to act out in this way. He had to do it. Like, let me be the one to save everyone from this evil tyrant, is how he views President Trump and his administration. Well, I've got one thing to tell him. Have a nice time, because you will likely, again, all of this is alleged. Nothing has been proven. Anyone is innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. So I will always preface it with that. But in my personal opinion, based on my experience, he will likely be spending the rest of his life in jail.
Love it.
And was it worth it? Well, only he will know that.
31 years old. Couldn't have been worth it. Hey, you're great. Great job on Fox News every day. The book is great. You're great here. Please keep coming back, Nicole Parker. You're terrific. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. God bless you all. Take care.
You too, Nicole. Nicole Parker right there, former FBI agent down there in Miami. And she's hopping on Fox News in about 6 minutes.
Thanks for listening to Sid and Friends in the Morning. You can hear Sid and Friends in the Morning weekday mornings at 6. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode, so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?